are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Blaque Diamond, and today with me, I have the privilege of speaking to Miss Jennifer Kornoely. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Kornoely, close.
Kornoely. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Well, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself before we jump right on in?
Yeah, sure. So, my background historically, well, for the past couple decades, I guess, has been in photography, mostly doing real estate photography, which is great, but it also leaves me a lot of time working alone. So I'd
Hmm.
be in houses and not having anyone to talk to or collaborate with or create something with. Like, when you work in an office, you're working on projects with other people. You're
Hmm.
interacting and you're kind of becoming a better version of yourself. So it was really just depressing not having that kind of interaction or, another person to kind of like spur you on to be a better version of yourself.
Hmm.
So I started listening to a lot of audiobooks. Mostly I'm like, okay, I could take advantage of this time. Like what do I feel is lacking? Of course, there's fiction, which is great for entertainment, but I wanted to, optimize my learning. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with some personal finance. Started reading a lot of books, um, okay, now I've read some personal finance books. Let's start listening to books about investing and business plans and all these things that we tend to just not come out of the gate knowing how to do.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, this is great. I feel like I'm becoming a better version of myself. My business is improving, but it's still not fixing like the loneliness side of it. There's got to be another way to talk to other women about these things. These are
Hmm.
important things that a lot of women don't necessarily have conversations about all the time. So I started reaching out to other women on like LinkedIn and some of my networking groups. And I'm like, hey, who else wants to read these business books and then get together on Zoom to talk about them? And I got such a great response that we've formed the She Leads book club. And
Ooh.
I know it's great because like I never would have pictured this a couple of years ago, and now it's evolving into a really great group of women who are coming together not only to discuss these business ideas that they're learning, but to hold each other accountable, to be vulnerable
Hmm.
with each other, to ask questions on the things they're struggling with. And it's it's just becoming such a helpful group to a lot of women, and I love being a part of it.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing. On two parts in particular. One, books. I love books. I'm a reader first, but I'm an author second.
Oh, wonderful.
So I've written and published, self-published 15 books to date. So that
I love
definitely
that.
speaks to me. I was like, ooh, somebody that can see likes audiobooks. Oh yeah. Usually, you hear people most blind or visually impaired people, listen to audiobooks. But I do like the
Yeah.
fact that now people who don't have a visual impairment are actually enjoying audiobooks too, because I can just grab so much information and knowledge from listening to audiobooks compared to just sitting down and reading them, which I mean that's great too. But I like to listen to books when I'm cleaning, when I'm showering, when
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to relax. Like I'm always headphones on, like just cleaning the kitchen, like just soaking up the knowledge. Like, you know,
Audiobooks are fantastic and they've changed so much. I remember getting like books on tape from the library like, 20 years ago,
yes.
and they were horrible.
Or
Like you'd
you can
listen to
hear
them
the
in the car.
recording.
Yeah, and it's like you're falling asleep. And now they're like full productions. They have multiple characters. Audiobooks are a game changer, especially like if you don't have
Yes.
the attention span to read, or you're spending all your day in the car commuting, or you got, kids
Mm-hmm.
demanding all your attention. Man, audiobooks are a total game changer.
Yes, I love it. Love it, love it. And then also the financial and business aspect of it. That's something that's always been very, interesting to me as an entrepreneur and someone who's always looking for different things to get into and how can I,
Hmm.
improve this and I've always found my struggle has always been the marketing side.
Oh,
That's the part of always, how
yes.
do I find my audience?
Yes.
How do I,
Yes.
use the right hashtags or, that's the part I struggle with.
It's all the different sides are like a completely separate beast. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
marketing, I need to learn all the things. Oh, networking, I need to learn all the things. And it's like once you kind of dabble in a little bit of each, it kind of comes together to form this big cohesive puzzle. And you
Mm-hmm.
start like, oh, let me take a little bit of this and a little bit of this. It's like making a recipe, you just, oh, let me add some seasoning here and some meat here and some broth here. And it comes together to be this thing that's bigger than its parts once you start learning all the
Yes.
different little things.
It is so amazing. Oh wow. And so you formed, so is this group, is it like international? Is it location
Hopefully
based?
soon. That's the goal. Right now, most of the women are from the Boise, Idaho area, but the
Hmm.
whole purpose of having it online is so that we're not limited to one group of women. The
Hmm.
more diversity and variety we can have in the group, the more different perspectives we're going to have. Because, if someone, even if you're in the same industry, if someone's in Boise and another person's in Miami, we're going to have very different approaches to the exact same business. We're going to have different struggles. We're going to, have different customers, and being able to come together and talk about those things open other people's eyes to things they might not have anticipated. Like,
Hmm.
when we first started, we had two ladies who were both insurance agents. One was here in Boise, and one was it was somewhere in Florida. And it was right at the time when hurricanes were coming through. And not only did she have to flee her home, but she still had to run a business and meet her customers' demands of,
Hmm.
their needs for their insurance because the hurricane was hitting them too. So it just changed the conversation between the two women
Hmm.
who were providing the exact same service, but in very different ways. So the more broad audience we can get in the group, the better it will be for everybody.
Yes, I love that idea. A book club plus also, an educational platform where, yeah, you can share peer-to-peer support. You can also, yeah, strategize, come
Yeah.
and it could also cause great business collaborations.
And it has. Yeah. We've had a few people partner up on projects who didn't know each other before being a part of book club.
That's definitely women empowerment to the third
Oh,
degree.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love it. I
Women do
love
amazing
it.
things when they have access to resources. Women always do great things.
Yes, yes. So how long has this been in existence?
About a year and a half. We started real small. We've grown to about, I think we're at 26 or 27 women.
Hmm.
So, but not everybody's always on every Zoom. So our Zooms tend to be nice and intimate. We usually have maybe half a dozen women. And it's great because it's a safe place to be open and vulnerable and kind of admit, oh man, I'm struggling with this thing, and have
Hmm.
other perspectives coming in and helping.
Yes, I can see that going very far because women in business is becoming a very, very hot commodity. Like
Yes.
women are just leveling up to the fullest. So yeah, I could see something like this like really taking off and spreading, nationwide and then also internationally. Like that would be
Wouldn't that be
great.
great?
Especially if it's virtual too, so you don't even have to be in the same place. You all just can meet, even if there's like certain days like marketing Mondays or
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
I don't know, when Wednesdays, like what have you been successful with, dealing with your business and your idea. Like, yeah, to have it set up to where there's certain days, so if certain people want to participate in certain, or all of them, if they're available.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that really like taking off.
Women are starting more small businesses than men now more than ever. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to be, first of all, learn going out of our way to learn these things. We need to be
Mm-hmm.
having conversations about all of it, even the icky stuff, and we need to be
Mm-hmm.
uplifting each other.
Exactly. Yeah, I can
And
see like single, like not even just single moms, but stay-at-home moms being
yeah,
involved with something like this, like feeling like they're actually contributing and learning something that, yeah, can help better their families.
yeah, because a lot of small businesses start because they're to meet the needs of, whatever is going on in her life, whether it's she is, a mom and has small kids and has to create something that's bringing in money around her kids' schedule. Like a lot of times when women are forming these businesses, it's because she has a unique need that needs to be met. She just doesn't have the ability to go, whatever, have a 9 to 5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're forming businesses out of that need, we're also not getting kind of the education of the tools that we necessarily need.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's starting a business with an MBA in their back pocket.
Exactly. It's just starting with an idea, and you know what? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes
And
you luck up and end up successful, and then sometimes you flop. It's
yeah.
just, yeah.
And a lot of times, women aren't having the same golf course bro conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when I started my business, I noticed I knew nothing. Like I didn't know anything about marketing or networking. I didn't know how do I pay taxes? How do I pay myself? Like I had no idea because I did not have a community. I didn't have a network to learn
Mm-hmm.
these things from. So it's like when you don't have that or grow up around that, where do you go to learn it? Like I don't have
Books and the
MBA
internet.
money, so library card it is.
And that's exactly how I learned. We had I actually was a prior guest I had, and we were talking about, especially we were talking about money and mindset and just
Hmm.
growing up, how a lot of times, yeah, if your parents weren't knowledgeable about credit and saving money and
Yeah.
finances, you don't learn the good habits and the things that you need once you become an adult because you never were taught. So you have to go out of your way to learn these skills and
Yep.
these things yourself. I was like, all I heard growing up was, oh, well, it'll go off my credit in 7 years. Like that
Oh no,
was like, oh, so you're just gonna run up stuff and just wait. I'm like, that's not. So I had to,
no.
have myself like, you know what? Nope, that's not the good mindset to have when it comes to money. So it made me the complete opposite. It made me very frugal. It made me very,
Hmm.
hyper conscious of what I spent and how I spent it and how to build credit. And, so I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to establish myself because I was 19 years old, couldn't get an apartment because I didn't have credit. And I'm like, well, how am
Oh.
I supposed to get credit? It's not like I'm 30, I'm 19, I'm just leaving home, trying
Yeah.
to find myself.
And if you had, if your parents had had a different knowledge base, they could have set you up ahead of time, but you don't know what
Yes.
you don't know.
Exactly. Like I just kept getting doors slammed, doors slammed. And then finally I
Yeah.
did end up with my first apartment. I couldn't afford it, but it was mine. It was a little furnished studio apartment for like $500. And at that time, I think minimum wage was like 10 or 725 or something like that. So like I was struggling to pay that
Yeah.
$500 a month, like because that's all I
Hmm.
had. And that was my first job, but I made it. But I'm like going through that and having to learn all of that about finances and all of that on my own made me very subconscious, about money and how to
Yeah.
manage it.
Yeah, but once you start like talking with other women about it, then you start get like a broader view of how it works and how you can get more of it and how you can make it work for you. And you just start to
Mm-hmm.
see things in a bigger picture. Sadly,
Differently.
though, you wanna hear something terrible? That's
What?
still the minimum wage here in Idaho.
Yeah, actually everywhere that I've been
Well, I
thinking
know
about.
like in
I'm like, and
some
was in
states,
2009.
some states have upped it to like 15 or 16, but yeah, Idaho it's still
Yeah.
7 and change. And yet our cost of living expenses have, oh my God, a studio apartment
Hmm.
here. in downtown is like $1,500.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
expensive here. It's bonkers.
wow.
It's bonkers.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in North Carolina and our minimum wage is still 7.25 as well.
Oh,
But I'm just like, I can't imagine like trying to, there's no way.
no.
There is
And
no
that,
way.
and that's why it's so important that women need to develop a skill set that is gonna protect them and cover their behinds. Because it's like, say you're working a job, even if it's like paying, decently.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose that job for whatever reason, whether you get fired or, your boss doesn't like you or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
reason, you get fired. Nowadays, it takes forever to find a new job.
Exactly.
What are you going to do to make money? Do you have the skill set to make your own money without an employer? And for a
Hard.
lot of women, the answer is no.
No. Mm-hmm.
So,
And especially if you live in a state like I do, they can fire you for anything. They don't have to have
yeah,
just cause. You can just like, you
yep,
know what? I don't need you here no more. Pack up. It's time for you to go. Like, what?
yep. Most states are like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I once was fired from a job. I reported to he no he the words are difficult to describe this one. He was a man child and he
Mm-hmm.
did not like women who had an opinion or heaven forbid a voice. And he was
Mm-hmm.
the owner's pet. And he told her, he's like, I don't like Jen. She's got to go. So I lost my job, $100,000 a year job in Southern
Wow.
California, where the cost of living is ridiculous. So
Yes.
no fault of my own. It wasn't like I, was embezzling or lost files or did anything malicious. Just somebody didn't like me. So I lost
Mm-hmm.
6 figures and I had to immediately pivot. I was a single mom. I had to figure out, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to buy groceries? All the things.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to do photography, but I didn't know how to market myself or price myself.
Mm-hmm.
So women, especially because women are usually the victims of this, that we need a skill set to be prepared at all times, you know?
Yes. And that's the one thing I've always made sure. I've always had a 9 to 5, but
Hmm.
because I've never been in a situation where jobs come by easily for me, especially being a
Yeah.
person with a visual disability, it's hard enough to get one job. So I feel
Oh,
like I've always had, I've always fallen back on my creative skills
yeah.
as a way to make, extra money, whether it's, writing music, doing the podcast, publishing books, so everything I do is in the creative space because that's naturally who I am. I'm a creative at heart. So I'm always basically dabbling in a little bit of this and a little bit of that on top of maintaining my 9 to 5 just in case things don't work out.
Yes. But I find creatives are often the such a victim, not victim, that's not the right word, but they're kind of subject to, oh, will you do it for a lower price? Or, oh, can you do it for exposure?
Hmm.
They're not the ones being thrown buckets of money to do the thing that they have a skill to do,
Yes.
which is terrible because it's incredibly difficult to be a creative and to do it well. So when you're devalued like that, it's like, oh, well, $100 is better than nothing, even though this thing that I'm doing is worth 1,000. So I think like once women start to not only get their self-confidence, but sort of
Hmm.
realize that doing that is a race to the bottom. And once they start learning about things like their value, their worth, how to market themselves, how to charge appropriately, the fact that
That's
not
what I
everyone,
struggle with.
oh,
Oh
it
my
is so
goodness.
hard. The
I
imposter
actually
syndrome
was
can be so
having
real.
a conversation with someone a couple of days ago because he was asking me about coming to speak. And
Hmm.
he was like, "Well, how much do you charge?" And I'm just like, "Oof." Um, well, I'm just trying to establish myself, so I don't really have a price or, I'm just trying to get, a feel for what my audience is. And I said, so I haven't charged anybody, anything yet to come and speak and share my story and things like that. And he was like, yeah, he was like, you definitely have to work on that because a lot of
Yep.
times the fact that you don't charge may actually make people feel like they're not getting anything of
Yeah.
value from you if there is no price attached. And I said, I think for me, I think I felt, I guess, nervous or just
Yeah.
uncomfortable with charging or setting a price for myself because I don't want to charge myself, but then I don't want to overcharge either. And then I don't get
Yeah.
anything out of it.
That's when you need to turn around and ask, what's your budget?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, if you're getting offered speaking gigs and they're like, hey, you want to come speak? And you ask, well, what's your speaker budget? Because then that's going to tell you too the value that they expect you to bring and the value that they're providing their paying attendees.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a $500 budget for a speaker compared to a $50,000 budget for a speaker, it sort of just tells you the level to which you are expected to rise,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And I
But
think
it's
this has really come up to me now because currently I am a pageant title holder. So I won a pageant back in October.
Oh,
Um,
congratulations.
Thank you. My title was Miss Altruistic 2025 just because of community service and the things that I'm involved in and that I do. Well, they gave us a sponsorship letter. And I read
Okay.
over the sponsorship letter and I'm like, this sounds very generic. Like it doesn't fit me as an individual. Like it's not. And I said, anybody reading this would just be thinking, okay, well, we're giving money to the organization, not you as the person, because that's what they were saying that we're supposed to use the sponsorship letters to get us sponsors, people to sponsor us, whether it's financially or hair done, gowns, whatever. But the
Okay.
way the letter reads, it sounds like they would be giving directly to the organization and not us as a
Oh,
person. So just in doing that, and I brought that to their attention, I'm like, is there a way to kind of more personalize it so it kind of fits that the person is giving to us? But it was just like I've been sending it out, and I think this kind of it brought up the fact that I don't know how to,
mm.
I guess, price myself, I guess you would say.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that kind of really just based on this and not hearing anything, it kind of made me fall back on thinking about me and speaking and things and how like, yeah, it's the thought of asking for money for my service makes me uncomfortable, I guess you would say.
I think a lot of women feel the same way. We're taught to don't talk about money, just be happy for what you get, don't
Mm-hmm.
ask for more, don't question it. Like all the messaging growing up is sort of grooming us to be small. Just
Mm-hmm.
just be happy with your crumbs. Don't ask for the steak.
Yes.
But I think once you start sort of taking in a lot of the businessy information and having the conversations with other women who are maybe more in advanced in their business or have been doing it for a little longer, your confidence
Mm-hmm.
level naturally increases. So they say you become the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
spending time with women who are not only smart but kind of have their stuff together, are confident and know their value, that will
Mm-hmm.
naturally happen in you.
Yep, that's why they always say the company you keep.
Yeah. Oh,
Be
for
careful
sure.
with the company you keep.
Definitely.
That definitely makes sense. Even though
Yeah.
you don't want any, make anybody feel bad that they're not where you're at, but yeah,
Yeah.
it yeah, it
You're
does it does make a difference.
it starts to change your friend group too, because you hang around with people who are happy with crumbs, then that's what you'll be happy with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I got some things to think about.
I've
I
got
felt like, yeah, that really kind of hit home for me once I started this whole pageant journey. And so I'm
I
like, you
bet.
know what? This is why I haven't really felt confident or comfortable, yeah, charging for my services. It's
Yeah.
because I don't, yeah, it's the thought of asking for, yeah, that financial support.
Yeah. And then sticking by it. Like if you throw out a
Mm-hmm.
number, like whatever my rate is $1,000 and someone comes back with, oh, well, our budget's only 200, the strength to walk away, because
Mm-hmm.
not everyone is your client. Not everyone is your perfect fit.
Yes.
Not everyone's budget is your problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's so
it's
true.
hard to do. It's so hard to do.
Yes. So
But if
with, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, so maybe like some money mindset books would be the good place to start.
Okay. Yeah, the my favorite person I actually used to listen to a lot of her books, and I miss her show, Susie Orman. She
Uh-huh.
was my favorite lady. I used to faithfully watch her every Saturday. And
Yeah.
then she did the podcast, and then that went away. I'm like, what happened? So then, yeah, I was listening to a lot of her books on, money and mindset and just how to build that wealth. And I've listened to quite a
Yeah.
few of the different financial gurus, and but I'm like, I want somebody I feel like I can really relate to, like not
Yes.
somebody that
Yeah.
just happened so to get lucky and met the right person and bam, their life changed for the better. Like I want someone who basically, yeah, started from the bottom and I can read their story of how they got to where they are.
Yeah. And that's like one of my things. Like Susie Orman was great because when she first started doing her TV show, I think she had a show on like, I want to say like
MSNBC.
MSNBC. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like
I
back
used
in
to
the
watch that
90s.
show faithfully.
But she would also like really shame people for their
Yes.
spending. And it's like, okay, that doesn't work. You have to educate and then also
Mm-hmm.
realize like, and it's along the same lines with like Dave Ramsey. Like he was saying,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, what was it? If you have debt, the only time you should be in a restaurant is to work there or something. And it's like that is horrible to tell somebody.
Yes.
Like,
That is
let's not
not.
shame people. Let's educate them and empower them to make better decisions. And also, people have to see themselves in you before they're going to take advice from you. So, I'm not going to take advice from a 70-year-old wealthy man from the South. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
take advice from someone closer to my age who knows what it's like to be a woman or a single mother
Mm-hmm.
or an entrepreneur. So yeah, I've started getting really selective on especially the money books,
Mm-hmm.
who I'm willing to take the advice from. Because if they can't relate, why would I take advice from them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what type of books would you recommend? Or like,
Oh,
do you have any specific books that you would recommend?
oh, I do. I have a list.
Yes,
So
please go down the
I have
list.
so I have a link. It's I'll give you a few for sure, but I have a link on the website and it's read these three books first. And it's three books across
Okay.
six different categories. So that's 18 books of like if you're an entrepreneur, this is where you need to start. Like books about how to start a business, personal finance, building wealth, connecting and networking, productivity. So a lot of the different topics that entrepreneurs start with. For me, I started with personal finance because that's where I found myself lacking. And a lot of it too is I didn't know these other topics existed. So
Mm-hmm.
a couple really great books that I love for personal finance were The Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap. Um, really great. She talks about how the messaging towards men and women are very different
Mm-hmm.
and how women tend to be kind of shamed for their spending choices, whereas men are like encouraged to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really great book. Another one is Rich AF by Vivian Tu. She brings a really unique perspective because her parents were immigrants. So she grew up around with very different conversations at home.
Mm-hmm.
And she also talks about sort of more of the wealth building side of it. And then also Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. Great book to start you if you don't know anything about budgeting or tracking your money.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the books I started with, and I really recommend every woman start with these books. But then
Okay.
if you're depending on what your business is, I mean, you want to progress into things like entrepreneurship, books like The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, really great for getting your mind sort of in the right place, realizing that owning a business is very different than doing the job for someone else, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and other books about like networking. There's The Wealth of Connection by Vincent Puglisi, talks all about building real relationships and having real conversations rather than just being like a smarmy car salesman and constantly pitching. Nobody wants to talk to anybody like that. We want to have,
Yes.
we want to have conversations and feel heard and seen. So, the money comes later
Hmm.
when you can build genuine networking. That's
Exactly.
essentially the first step. So yeah, there's a lot of really great books that I think
I've
everyone
actually
should start
found
with.
myself doing that too. Like when I share like the different things I do on Facebook or my social
Yeah.
media, like sometimes I feel myself holding back because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm always like posting here, buy my this, and I'm doing this, so I
Yeah.
try to sprinkle in some other
Hmm.
posts or different things in between so people don't feel like, oh, I'm just always, throwing in their
Yeah.
face something that I'm doing.
They say
I
that
was
it
like,
should
I
be
do a lot, but
they say it should be about like an 80-20 ratio. So
Mhm,
80% educating, informing, entertaining, and 20% selling. Because, people tune out the commercials. They see them all day
mhm,
long on TV, they see them all day long in their Facebook feed, wherever they are looking, there's a commercial. People
mhm.
have become numb to it. So when they can hear your story and see themselves in you, that's when they're going to be paying attention, and
Mhm.
then through your storytelling, that's when they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I want to know more. And that's when they're going to find your
Yes.
books and your podcast.
Hmm.
Storytelling is so important, but so hard.
Yeah, and that's kind of the story of my life. Everything I kind of do is all centering around empowerment and storytelling. And yeah, because I write music, so that's part of storytelling as well. And then of course I'm an author and a poet, so that's also storytelling. And the
Yeah.
podcast host, where I'm allowing others to share their stories, plus I'm sharing my life story. So everything I
You're
do kind of,
surrounded by
yeah,
storytelling.
storytelling and empowerment, like that. And I feel like that's where I belong. That's what I've always been set out to do. It's unfortunate that I went through a lot of trauma to get to where I am and to have a story to share in the first place,
Yeah.
but it's for a reason.
Yeah. It is hard to kind of rationalize, but it's like it, nobody gets out unscathed. We're
Hmm.
all going through our traumas, and being able to at least leverage it for your benefit in the end, I guess, is the silver lining that you gotta try and keep the perspective on, because God, otherwise it just,
Life would be
yeah,
not worth living if you're just always thinking about the pessimistic, perspective of life. And
yeah.
woe is me.
Like I thought getting fired was horrible, and in the moment it was, because I felt like a feeling of betrayal, but in the end it's like, oh my God, thank God, because I
Like it was a
hated the
relief.
job. I hated the job. I hated the person who I had to report to every day. I was miserable. It's like, that Sunday night feeling when you're getting ready for work the next day and like, oh, I don't want to go.
Yes. Oh my God, I feel like that every
That's,
day. I'm sorry.
I
But I'm
mean,
like, you
that
know
tells
what?
you
This
something.
pays the bills and I need to
I know,
break down
but
until
it tells
something
you
I'm
something.
doing takes off.
Yeah.
I remember even at my last job I had before this one, and I was there for like 11 and a half years.
Oh,
And I
wow.
guess my manager could tell that I was just not, I mean, I loved the job. I loved what I did. I just didn't like the company too much just because of everything that they had going on. And he would always say, I know you have other ambitions, but your focus needs to be here. And I'm like, and it was like he would always say that because they always knew that outside of my job, I was always involved in other things and other, doing and,
Yeah.
being everywhere else. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. My ambition is elsewhere. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is my this is my bread and butter. And I've always felt like that with every job I've ever had. I'm like, I've never been satisfied. I've never been happy because I've never
Yeah.
wanted to work for someone else. Since
Yeah.
I was a child, my dream was always to be an entrepreneurial of some sort. Initially it
Yeah.
started, I wanted to own my own hair salon and spa. But when I became blind due to child abuse, that dream kind of went away. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay, well, what else can I do? You know?
yeah.
And I had always wanted to be, an author and poet and all that. So yeah, I was able to make those dreams happen. But at the end of the day, being an author or a poet is not going to be, something that's going to garner you millions of dollars to where you can quit your nine
You don't know. You don't
to
know.
five.
There are plenty of authors who make millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're
Plenty.
traditionally published though. And then actually a lot of them I actually know, they actually still work regular jobs. They actually don't make as much money as they used to back in the day.
Oh,
Publication, yeah, you don't make as much.
but it is
So,
a tool to leverage you into other things. Like you were talking about public speaking earlier. A
mhm,
lot of public speakers are able to poise themselves as an expert because they are published.
yes.
So, public speaking can be incredibly lucrative. I remember
No,
being at
that,
corporate events,
yes,
Googling what this
definitely.
guy's making.
Now, public, yeah, that's the part where I really want to break into because, yeah, that's where I feel like the other things I do are great, but they actually help to leverage me as an expert as well, on
Yes.
top of my own personal story.
So maybe you don't make the millions from being an author, but being an author positions you to make millions from something else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never know how life's going to pivot for you and throw you new curveballs. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not.
Yeah, if I could be a full-time motivational speaker, I would
Oh, that'd
love
be
it
great.
every day. Like, if
Heck
that's what I
yeah.
could do, that's what I want to do. I want to, because I love to travel. I love to speak. I love to inspire people. I love just knowing that what I'm saying could possibly help someone else.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I love
that's
that.
my passion. Like that's what if somebody were to offer me a job right now, say, you know what, we're going on a 10 city tour to speak, I would be there. My son would be coming along with me, but I would be there. I'm like,
But
look,
before
he
you do
needs
that, you need to know how to, do all the other things because now you're essentially a business
Yes.
of yourself. But so you need to know, how do you market it? How do you leverage these opportunities? How do you set aside that money? How do you invest that money? All the things.
Hmm.
The opportunities coming up is only sort of one piece of the puzzle. Like
Yes.
if an opportunity presents itself and you take advantage of it, great. But is that just going to be it? Or are you going to fully take advantage of it? Are you going to make the most money you can? Are you going to do the best things with that money? Are you going to market yourself now using this platform?
Hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why I'm always, researching and looking for different ways to, leverage what I already have, the skills I have, the knowledge I have to see what I can do that can help me further, my different passions and dreams because yeah, at the end of the day, it all starts with me.
Yes.
The tools and resources are there, but the person who has to push me is me.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's coming to save you, but no one's
No.
coming to stop you either.
Exactly. All right. So do you have anything else you would like to share? Any advice, any words of encouragement?
Ladies, you need to pick up the nonfiction books. You need to. I mean, fiction is great. I love it. Fiction that has its
Mm-hmm.
own benefits. Fiction books help increase creativity, vocabulary, imagination, all these things. But we need to start reading nonfiction books. We need to start learning about business. We need to start learning about money.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start
Self-help.
learning
Yeah.
about making our lives the best lives they can be. We need to be intentional with our lives because life is so short that,
Mm-hmm.
like, why would you want it to not be the most amazing thing that it could be?
Exactly. Exactly.
And there
Wow.
are ways to listen to free audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
If, First of all, everybody should have a library card. They are free. You can get them from multiple libraries. There are libraries where if you are a non-resident, you can pay a small fee, usually maybe like 40, $50 for a year, and get non-resident library cards for And like say your city doesn't have an amazing library, you can go get other ones.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the Libby app to listen to as many audiobooks as you want. So yeah, there are services like Audible and Spotify, which can get pricey, but there are free options.
Yeah, that's actually my go-to is Audible, and then I
Hmm.
also utilize since I am blind or visually impaired, I do utilize the free library option for people I think it's in different states. That is the Library of Congress. They offer, being able to listen to audiobooks.
Oh, I
But
love that.
Audible is definitely my go-to. I'm willing
Yep.
to pay for my books. I think I have like over like 400 books in my library over the
Yep.
years, and I've actually read plenty of them over and over again. That's just
Yep.
how I am. I read it as if it's a brand new book I've never read before.
I usually start with Libby and see if it's available, but sometimes their nonfiction section's a little limited. So I'll start with
Hmm.
Libby and see if they have it. And if they don't, then I go to Spotify because since I have a premium subscription, you get 15 hours a month included with your premium subscription of an
Hmm.
audiobook. So if then they don't,
Hmm.
then I use my Audible credits. And those I buy in bundles so that they're cheaper. I don't want to spend my money
Yes.
unnecessarily. Jeff Bezos doesn't need my $17. So
Yep, I like my bundles too. I think at one point I was like platinum annual or something like that. And I was just snatching up books every time they came out. But yeah, I love my audiobooks. Like I do them for everything. Like when I go today to go to my son's clinic, while he's in therapy, I'll be listening to a book to keep me
Yep.
occupied. So I
But I
might have
think
to pick up one of these books.
just as important though is that women are talking to other women about these topics because
Mm-hmm.
we don't live in a vacuum. We live in a
Mm-hmm.
community and women, especially as we get older, we need community more and more. I mean, there's been all kinds of studies done about how communities lead to longevity and increased quality of life. So we
Yes.
need to be forming community and having conversations about the things we feel awkward about. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel comfortable talking about a lot of this stuff, but I force myself to do it because I want to be a better person and then I want to miss out.
Exactly. So I wonder, do you guys is your book group like offers through like a group or anything like on Facebook or anything like that, or is it
Yeah.
online? Okay.
So we do have a public Facebook group. It's just She Reads, She Leads Book Club. And it's a little pink cartoon profile picture. So everyone's welcome to join. Lots of conversations about books. And then our Zooms are for the paid members.
Mm-hmm.
Memberships start at $15 a month, so super accessible. And then also, if anyone is interested in joining, I have a promo code for a free first month. It's just She Leads 30, all in capitals. So anyone's willing want is welcome to come and give it a try. We're having a Zoom in a couple weeks to discuss the book, The Psychology of Money. So yeah, it's growing. We're getting more and more women talking about the hard things. So that's always
Mm-hmm.
a good thing.
Oh wow, I'm definitely gonna have to share that on my own social media, but also include the link to the group in the show notes where those who want to just
Yes,
click on it
yes.
and join.
Yeah, and on the website we have the download for the book recommendations. So please
Mm-hmm.
download it and start reading. And I would love to hear what everyone thinks of the different books or recommendations for putting new books on the list, like books that you would absolutely recommend to your BFF.
Mm-hmm. All right, I love it. Love it. Community building.
Yay!
Yeah, we got to get this international. So we got to spread the
Yeah.
word. Spread the word. All right. So we have come to my favorite part of the show where we play What's She Thinking? I will give you five random phrases. You'll tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't have to think too hard about it. Just something
Okay.
a little fun to get to know you after a good conversation.
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
I'm
Uh,
ready.
all right. So your first one is going to be, let's see here. Financial literacy means.
choices.
Choices. Okay. All right. Next one is going to be cake or pie.
Oh, cake for sure.
Cake. Okay. All right. Let's see here. About how many books do you think you've read so far this year?
I think I'm sitting right at 13.
13. Wow. Okay. Okay. Next one is going to be one word starting with the first letter of your first name. Do you feel describe you?
Oh my God. You know, names always start with the letter J, but very few adjectives do. Oh my gosh. I think you've stumped me.
I actually did that one intentionally.
What's that?
I said I actually did that intentionally. I'm like, gonna make her think.
Oh man, there's not a lot of adjectives that start with J.
Let's see. We can say
Joyful, but in spurts. Like, I need the right environments to be joyful. I'm very introverted, so joyful with an asterisk.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. All right. So your last one is mountain climbing or skydiving.
Oh, mountain climbing. I'm not jumping out of an airplane. No way.
Come on, live a little.
Oh, that's the whole
outside your
point. I would like to live a little. I'm not jumping out of an airplane.
All right. Well, do you mind? Is there like any social media links, websites, anything that you would like to share for listeners to be able to reach out to you or to the book group?
Yeah, the website is shereadsseleads.com. Lots of great resources on there. The book list is downloaded right there on the front page. Put some good blogs and other reading lists. On Facebook, we are She Reads Book Club. And then I'm also, my personal page on Facebook is Jen Sharp Kornoely, and also on LinkedIn. So yeah, I'd love to talk to some ladies about the books.
All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Be sure to check out the website, BFF Empowerment Podcast.com, to keep up to date with the latest and greatest of the podcast. Also, check us out and follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. If you would like to be a Women on the Rise spotlight, be sure to send an interest email to bffempowerment@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform of choice. And if your platform doesn't allow for reviews, then at least leave a rating to help other women to discover their next favorite empowerment podcast. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening.